Day 3 of Offshore Europe. 3 takeaways again from my side. Wave energy converter, process integrity, and energy islands. It was in the floating wind session this morning. It was Nigel Robinson from Apollo gave an overview of the different techniques and configurations you can use for mooring offshore facilities. And a lot of this technology comes from the oil and gas industry, from decades of experience. And there was a couple of sessions on how do you build in redundancy and simulations and. But during that, they started talking about, well, if you add a wave energy converter onto the mooring lines, that changes the configuration and the tension on the lines and. And I'll be honest, I had to go off and look up what a wave energy converter is. Interesting. Check it out. Now, I'm at Offshore Europe supporting ABB Energy Industries, and I had the opportunity to host Martin about their offshore wind session today. And again, we followed up on a lot of the stuff that was done yesterday in the session around the facilities of the future and electrification and. But Martin made a very interesting point. As you look to electrify offshore platforms, remember the offshore platform is there to do a specific purpose. And potentially these are generating gas or producing oil. And you cannot, regardless of the type of energy you use, renewable, gas, hydrogen, whatever, the net goal is that you cannot impact on the process integrity of that platform. And that all has to be factored in. So intermittency and. But again, the business case for many of these offshore facilities is to generate oil and gas. You cannot impact that as you add different new energy sources. And now you can get all around them, whatever, but it was, again, process integrity. Now, energy islands. This was actually a session on the first day, but John Butler and others had said to me, oh, you need to go back and look at this one, this is cool. An energy island is basically an island in, let's say, the North Sea, Baltic Sea, and it is a hub where you connect in a lot of wind farms, potentially generate hydrogen on them, and. It was Poul-jacob from Energinet outlined what the Danish government are planning with 2 huge energy islands, one here in the North Sea, 3 to 10 gigawatts of capacity, interconnectors, ultra high voltage AC/DC to multiple countries, built in 27 meters depth of water, and. The scale of these things is massive. It was then followed up, there was a presentation by Jasper from TenneT, and he was talking about how they're looking at, well, as we add more and more and more wind farms, we're not going to connect these things back to the grid at the shore. We need to have energy hubs. So like think a big, huge transmission grid and energy hubs in the North Sea. And obviously, again, maybe you generate hydrogen on some of them and. But it was in the discussion, it was, I think it was Gunther Newcombe made the point that today in the North Sea, for example, there are a huge amount of offshore facilities that need to be decommissioned. And that's going to cost billions. So some companies are looking at repurposing those platforms into energy islands. Can they be used as, if you like, transmission stations? Can they be used for hydrogen generation? Put a lot of electrolyzers on them and. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, they were the 3 for today. Last day is tomorrow, day 4. So see you there.